Well, hi there, Ivan. So you're having some problems with your feet? Tell me, what has been going on?
Well, I'm a runner, an athlete, and my feet kind of sweat, but boy, they've been itching terribly.
Okay, all right. Well, let's take a look here.
Okay.
What the hell? Elf! Hello again. Welcome to this week's episode of What the Health, and we're talking today about athlete's foot. So athlete's foot, from a medical standpoint, is called tinea pedis. It is caused by a fungi, not a fun guy like what you just saw here, but a fungi. So fungi tends to grow in moist places, damp places. So let's think about the locker room, the shower, your wet athletic socks. Those are places where we tend to have that grow. And so when we talk about prevention, those are some areas we'd like to work with to prevent this as well. When someone comes to the clinic and I'm looking at them on exam for athlete's foot, what a common presentation would be is that they would have itching between the toes. Generally, there would be some redness, scaling, cracking. The redness might extend all the way down to the underside of the foot. In severe cases, there can even be some blistering, and the skin generally does some peeling. Complications of athlete's foot is that it could lead to another infection, a bacterial infection that could spread into the tissues and then may require more than treatment with antifungals. It might even need an antibiotic. On severe occasions, we do need to send people on to a dermatologist to treat the athlete's foot with medicines further than what we do in family practice. What can you do at home if you think you have athlete's foot? There are a number of preparations that are over the counter that you can purchase. They're right near the first aid aisle. You can find foams, sprays, powders, creams for athlete's foot. So it's okay to go ahead and try those things, but if you're not having success, then go ahead and come to me. Sometimes we take a little scraping of the skin and send that off to the lab, but most of the time we just look at it and decide, does this look to be athlete's foot? And then I can recommend a treatment for you. One of the reasons that your athlete's foot might not get well treated at home is that people will treat this with a steroid preparation because it is so itchy. And actually, with a fungal type infection, that kind of feeds into the problem. Anti-inflammatory type topical creams actually impair the ability for this fungus to slough off, and it actually can make the infection get deeper into the tissue. So how can you prevent from getting athlete's foot? First of all, keeping your feet clean, dry, keeping your nails trimmed, because the athlete's foot lives in the skin tissue, especially the flaky dead tissue, and that can get built up underneath the toenails themselves. If you are an athlete or somebody who sweats a lot, trying to wear socks that really allow the moisture to either wick through, and then as soon as you're done doing that activity, getting those off and allowing your feet time to just dry out. If you are going to be, showering like in a public locker room or in the public swimming pool area, if you can, wear some sandals in that area, because that's a very common spot where you can pick up this fungi because it just lives in that damp area on the floor, and you don't know who else has been in there and if they're wearing sandals or not. Also, if you're somebody who tends to just have moist feet, you can pick up powders that are over the counter that you can just sprinkle into your socks or rub onto your feet that can help absorb the sweat during the day so that you're less likely to harbor just sweat and moisture between the toes. Thank you for joining me for another episode of What the Health. Continue to send topics our way. You will soon see our suggestion box about campus, so it makes it a little bit easier for you to contact us.